We are the News and Nonverbal Communication. My name is Sarah Boudreaux, and
My name is Tyler Blanc, and I'll kind of just give you a gist of what nonverbal communication is. Nonverbal communication is the process of sending and receiving messages without using words, either spoken or written. This involves basically anything that's not the spoken word. Things like the pitch of your voice, the tone of your voice, the environment you're surrounding yourself with, and also time.
chronemics is a very important part of nonverbal communications. It is also known as the study of time. When we view chronemics, we view time as how we use it, perceive, study, structure, interpret, and react to messages of time. In this section, we will be talking about how time affects our personal lives. They have psychological time orientations, and it's how we feel, think, and perceive about time. They have past-oriented people. It's where people always think about how time affects the past life, like how, say we're in college right now, how it affects everything that happened in your high school days. Then you have present-oriented people, where you think about what's happening now in this moment. And then you have future-oriented people. It's the people who set goals for themselves, and what you're doing now is used for your future. Then you have biological time orientations. It's how we physically react to the time. You have the physical cycle, which is your strongest cycle. You feel like you can finish anything very fast. Like when the semester first starts off, you feel like you can accomplish anything, and at the end it's very hard. You have to find the energy to finish. You have the sensitive cycle, which is where you have a positive view of the world, and after the day kind of goes, you're less positive about everything that's going on. Then you have the intellectual cycle. You're more alert, attentive, and you apply everything that you learn fast. Is where you basically can figure everything out in a good manner, and then like at the end you start becoming slower. It takes you more time to learn everything. Then you have the cultural time orientations. You have 3 types: technical, formal, and informal. Technical time, it's like the actual time. Like when we look at the clock and we see it's 2 o'clock, it's the actual time that we have. Then you have the formal times. It's how cultural refers to time, like in days, months, weeks, stuff like that. Then you have informal time, and that it has many different things. It's like when I say I'm on my way, I'm not giving an exact time, but I'm headed that way. Then they have different aspects of informal time. They have monochronic time, and that's when you basically only refer to one thing. Like you can only focus on one thing at once. You can't really make last minute plans. Everything's planned out day to day. Then you have polychronic time, where you're more flexible with your schedule. You can focus on more things at once, and you go with the flow, more like. Okay. Now on to our on-site reporter, Matthew Benson.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm here with Declan, Rade, and David, and they're from Australia, Serbia, and England. So what I'm going to ask to start with is, how does your country see time, and how important is it there? Declan?
I mean, in Australia, it's, socially it's a bit lax. You can arrive 10, 15 minutes late, if that's what your mates are expecting. But when it comes to the business world, it's very strict, very formal, and you kind of have to go by the time. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And Rade, in Serbia?
In Serbia, people don't really tolerate when you're late. Not even, especially for formal things, but not even if you go for a day with a friend or someone you like. But just time means something.
Okay, and David?
As you know, Matthew, you have to turn up early in England. We're prompt men. Turn up 15 minutes early, cup of tea, and so you do it.
Is that what it's like in the business world, would you say?
Of course, through my experience anyway.
Okay, so going back to the social life, how does time affect it? Do you make sure that you spend more time getting ready to look your best for going out with your mates, or would you spend more time getting ready for business, or what would you do? Ready?
For me, that's equally. For me, to look good, I think that's the first impression is always the best impression. That's why I think how you look, that's how you're gonna impress people. And for friends and for business, I think I spend a lot of time.
David?
It is very important to. What was the question? Sorry?
How does time? Would you spend more time getting ready for your social life or more time getting ready for your business life?
It depends what I'm doing socially. If I'm just going to the park with my friends, I'll put back on a pair of jeans and a shirt. If I'm going for business, suited and booted, looking the part, I think it's important.
Okay, thank you. And Declan?
I mean, preparation back home doesn't really matter. It's more, getting a good work and social balance. Spending time equally with your mates and with that kind of professional development.
Okay, perfect. And the last question, again to all three of you. Being from other countries here in America, do you think America has affected your perception of time? David?
No. It hasn't really affected my perception of time. I mean, I try and be the same. If I've got a meeting, I try to get there 15 minutes early so I can get a cup of tea and relax. It's just all the same for me, really.
Okay, Rene?
I think it did affect my time because my first job it was here in America, so coming to work on time and then have meetings with the team playing football here, I think it was important to come on time every time. So yeah, it did affect my time.
Thank you. And last bit?
Well, I feel most of my interactions here in the States have been far more formal than they would be back home. Obviously, as Ryder just said, being the soccer team, having meetings with professors and whatnot, it is far more important, and to me that has been highlighted. So
thank you. So viewers, as you can see, no matter where you're from in the world, time is always going to be an important thing as to whether you're going socially or for business-wise. Thank you very much. Back to you.
In this segment, I will be discussing the professional aspect of time. The professional aspect of time is basically how time relates to the professional world, business world, your job site mainly. I interviewed a few managers, high-end managers, general managers, and asked them what they thought would be the best information to pass along to prospective interviewers, interviewees, people that want jobs, employees, things of that sort. And basically what they told me is always be early. Well, always be on time. If you can, be early. 15 minutes early is always a best go-to. Never be late. If you're late, especially for an interview, 9 times out of 10 you won't get the job unless you're just that great. If you know you're going to be late, try to call in advance. They always say give at least a 2-hour notice. If you can give them 24-hour notice, that's great too. The biggest notice you've got, they'll accept. Just don't make it too last minute.
In conclusion, time is one of the most important nonverbal communications.
Miss Robin Santu once said, time can be used as a communication tool in many ways, from punctuality to expectations around waiting and response time to general principles around time management.